Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and guess what? Michael and I are engaged. So today I thought it would be fun to share this special occasion by throwing a wedding shower. But before we get started, we're gonna have to take a trip to Bird Cookie Company for a peek into how these bite-sized morsels get their more than just a mouthful taste. And we're gonna leave with those famous key lime coolers that are gonna make the perfect crust for my key lime tarts. And we'll share a laugh or two when I make Michael's pickled shrimp that's so good, I promise they won't outlast my marriage. And we're gonna tie it all up in a knot with my sesame chicken strips and simple saltines that are perfect for any party. Y'all gather around the wishing well. I think we're all in for a surprise. Hey, today is one of the happiest shows I've ever done. Believe it or not, it's about a bride and a groom. And you're not gonna believe this. At my age, I'm 56 years old. I've got 2 grown sons. I'm an old lady. And I have met the man of my dreams. And he asked me to marry him. And I said yes. It almost looks real, doesn't it, girls? Michael said it only took him 3 tries with the little diggers in that machine. I just love it. He picked the perfect one. Well, in order to get ready for our show today, we're gonna have to take a quick trip to Bird Cookie Company. So y'all don't go anywhere. I want you to stay and help me plan my bridal shower. So I'm off to my favorite specialty shop, Bird Cookie Company, to pick up some bite-sized, melt-in-your-mouth key lime coolers. My friend Kay was good enough to show me how they meet the high demand for these yummy creations. How many cookies do y'all make a day, Kay?
Oh, I'd say in the hundreds of thousands.
My goodness, and what kind are y'all making right now?
These are the key lime coolers.
Kay, I appreciate so much you helping me today. It's always so good to see you.
Well, good to see you, and I hope the recipe turns out great. Don't forget to bring samples.
I will bring you a sample because they're really, really good. Hard to improve on these little babies, but
you can do it.
This recipe's pretty good.
You can do it.
You have a great day. It's always good to see you.
Good to see you.
I got our cookies, but before I do that, I want to show y'all one of Michael's favorite dishes, and it's pickled shrimp. And he was the cutest thing. He kept telling me about these pickled shrimp, and finally one day I said, how about showing me how you make these great pickled shrimp? So we got into the kitchen, and he was so cute, girls. Watching Michael is like watching molasses pour. He's that slow, and he was so, so cute. I really had to stop myself from slapping him and moving him out of the way and just letting me do it. But it was so much fun watching him that day. Now, his pickled shrimp is very, very simple. He starts with a medium-sized shrimp, and I have actually split these down the middle and already deveined them. So we've got our water boiling. I'm just gonna pour our shrimp right on in there. And these won't take but just a couple of minutes. You can see already how quick they've turned pink. I've got me a bowl of ice water ready. Go ahead and pull our shrimp out. And then we're gonna plop them into our ice water. This dish takes about 10 minutes to put together, and I think Michael spent about an hour and a half doing this. All right, so we've got our shrimp in our ice water. Now I'm gonna let those sit there because I've already got some that's been peeled. All right, now we're gonna get us a jar. You can use any kind of jar you want. And I'm gonna start by putting our shrimp in. And I think this is exactly the way Michael does it. So we want to make sure we do it just like he does. I can do it a little faster. Maybe that's why I'm on TV and Michael isn't. All right, so we're gonna layer a few shrimp in there, and then we're gonna take our onion and throw over in there. And then I've got some garlic cloves and drop it over in there like that. And then we're gonna come back with a few more shrimp. And we're gonna drop a little peppercorn in there. Michael really, really likes spicy things. Go figure. Think that's why he chose me? So we're gonna drop a few bay leaves in. We'll do a couple on this layer. And a couple of more onions. And a few more shrimp. And a few more peppercorns. Another clove of garlic. Kind of give that a shake and shake that down. And then we're just gonna squeeze a lemon over that. And we're gonna cover it with an apple cider vinegar. Look how pretty that is. Now the only thing about this dish is we actually put this in the refrigerator and let it sit for 2 weeks. Makes a wonderful gift. So I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator, and when our shrimp are ready, we're gonna need something to eat along with it. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't always keep the fancy crackers in the house. But I always have a soda cracker or a saltine cracker. So I'm gonna show you how to kind of fancy those up. Now there's several different ways that you can do this. You can brush these in olive oil, you can brush them in butter, or you can brush them in an egg wash using the whites of the egg. I think I'll choose the butter. So we're just gonna pat those with butter. We have to have something that will make our ingredients stick to them. All right, I'm gonna brush this second half in egg wash, and we'll see if it makes a great deal of difference. All right, here we go. Now, to do your crackers, you can put mostly anything you want to on them, but I like to start with a little parsley. Now I'm putting a few sesame seeds on these, and see how pretty they're looking. All right, now I'm gonna sprinkle a dark sesame to give them just a little contrast in color. All right, now I'm gonna put a little caraway seeds on it. I love caraway. So we're gonna throw this in like a 325-degree oven. And I've got another pan already ready. Wow, don't those look great? Those don't look like that ordinary soda cracker, do they? I've actually got some shrimp that Michael did about 4 or 5 days ago, so I'm gonna get those and we're gonna try his along with our cracker. Let's see what he did. They're so good and they're so tart, they make me pucker. The cracker is just perfect with the shrimp. Y'all don't go anywhere, because coming up next, I'm doing chicken strips, and I want to tell y'all how Michael asked me to marry him. So romantical. All right, I want to show y'all how to make just some divine chicken strips for your man, honey. You'll just blow them away, or for your woman. In fact, I told y'all I wanted to tell you how Michael proposed to me. So guys, y'all don't go anywhere. I want y'all to listen closely, because it might give you a few ideas of your own. I'm gonna start with a marinade on our chicken. We're actually gonna let this marinate in the refrigerator overnight. We're gonna start with some sour cream and a couple of teaspoons of celery salt, fresh chopped garlic, the juice of a half a lemon, half a teaspoon of salt, and about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. And that sour cream is gonna break down that chicken and make it so unbelievably tender. And it's just gonna be perfectly delicious. Now I've got some strips already cut here. I've taken just a boneless chicken breast and sliced them up. And y'all will wanna remember now working with chicken, you want to make sure you don't do any cross-contamination. And you want to make sure you wash your hands and your board real good. A tablespoon of Clorox mixed in a gallon of water will work nicely to clean any of your surfaces with. Now I'm gonna just toss those around and make sure they're coated real well. So I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator and let them sit overnight. In the meantime, I've got some that I did up yesterday that are ready for us to go. So anyway, I want to tell y'all how Michael proposed to me. It was Christmas morning, and all of our family had gathered around, and I'm running around looking lovely. Well, I had noticed the night before that a new gift had appeared underneath the Christmas tree, and it was back to the back, and it said Paula. Well, I pretended that I didn't notice, and I thought, well, I'll get that when the time's right. Look at this wonderful pan, y'all. It's a heavy cast iron with the grill surface on it, because when we cook these chicken tenders, they won't sit in any grease. They're gonna sit up. This is a wonderful heavy pan. Before I go on with the story, I'm gonna take sesame seeds, and this is just a white sesame, and you could actually even use dark too, and breadcrumbs. And we're gonna mix that together real good. And we're just gonna take our chicken breast out. We're gonna roll them in our breadcrumbs and our sesame seed, put them on our pan and into the oven. So anyway, Michelle, Michael's daughter, comes over to me and she said, you've got to open your gifts. So I went over and I sat down in the chair, and they pulled out that box that I had seen that said Paula on it, and it was shaped in the shape of a house. So when I sat down with this box, I noticed that the room got quiet and everybody was watching me. So I thought, what's going on here? Because I truly had no idea. So I opened the box, and there was another box inside. Now the first box said Paula. The next box that I opened was surrounded by all this candy, all my favorite Hershey's chocolate kisses and all this stuff. So I opened the next one, and it said love. And I still was not reading what was on the box. So I had opened a box that said Paula, I love. So I went to the next box. It was surrounded by candy, and it had you on it. And I still did not realize what was going on. I couldn't figure out the message. And finally my niece Kari yelled out, and she said, Paula, are you reading the message? And I said, well, it said, Paula, I love you. So I went to the next box and opened it up, and it said, Will. When I saw Will, everything clicked. And I looked up at Michael, and he was propped against the bar over there looking at me, just grinning. And I said, no. And then I said, yes, yes. And I thought it was just the sweetest thing. This big, tough, quiet riverman had just chosen the perfect way to propose to me. So I've got these ready to go into the oven. And now all I'm gonna do is drizzle these with butter. I don't have to tell you that in the South we're big chicken eaters. Okay, we're gonna put those in the oven, and we're gonna cook these anywhere from 18 to 25 minutes. And I've got some that should be ready over here. And look how delicious they look. Nice and golden brown. And you can see how the grease went to the bottom of our pan. Oh, these look so, so good. I'm gonna just sprinkle a few black sesame seeds and a little lemon twist. Now I think all I'm gonna do is serve this with a very simple honey mustard sauce. The girls are gonna love them. Y'all stay tuned, because y'all remember those key lime coolers we went to get? Well, coming up next, key lime cooler tarts. You know, I didn't think that you could actually improve a key lime cooler, but I got in the kitchen one day and started playing around, and I found out, believe it or not, we could actually improve them a little bit by putting them inside a tart and letting this serve as our crust. So it's just double goodness there, and they're so easy to make. We're gonna make a cream cheese center for these using an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, some sugar, an egg, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, and a little lime zest. Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna beat this until it's kind of nice and creamy. And while that's creaming, I'm gonna come over here. I've lined our miniature muffin tins with the little paper liners. I found that when we went to eat them the other day, they stuck a little bit, so I'm gonna just give them a light spray so that they'll come out. All right, now I'm gonna take our key lime coolers and just drop into the bottom, and that's gonna be our crust. All right, our cream cheese is ready. Now we're just gonna come over here and drop our cream cheese down on top of our cookie, just like that. It's probably about a heaping teaspoon. You know, Michael and I are so involved in food, and I'll never forget our first date together. We came back in from the most wonderful boat ride. Finally, I said, would you like a bite to eat? And he said, yes, that would be nice. So I go to my pantry, pull out my box of pork rinds, go to the microwave and pop them in, and bring them back to the sofa and sit down. And he's very gracious. He said, you know, I think these are the best pork rinds I've ever tasted. And he said what was really going through his mind was, now I found this girl that's supposed to really be a good cook, and she's serving me boxed pork rinds. What's up with this? So these are ready to go into the oven, and we're gonna bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes. And I've actually got a pan back here that's cooled. So these are ready for us to fill. Because our next step, you want to make sure they're totally, totally cool, because we're going to pipe them with whipped cream, and as you know, heat and whipped cream will make a mess. So we've got these nice and cool, and we're going to take our whipping cream that's been sweetened with a little sugar, and this garnishes them nicely, makes them taste good. So you can see how that they kind of fell in the center, which is just perfect. It gives us a little pocket. And we're just gonna pipe our cream right into there. So how pretty are those? I'm just gonna take these out and put a few on the plate. And I have some sugared lime zest. And if you don't wanna go to that trouble, you can just grate some lime zest and kind of sprinkle on. Doesn't that make a pretty plate? And I'm gonna take the paper off, and you can see why I sprayed them lightly, because they could have a tendency to stick on you. I really didn't think you could improve on a bird cookie, but I think we've done it. Y'all hang around, because never thought this would happen, but I'm gonna be giving you some tips on wedding showers. For a few quick tips on today's recipes, try playing around with Michael's marinated shrimp by using different vinegars. The balsamic vinegar might be a good one that you really like, or just plain old white vinegar, red wine vinegar, as opposed to what we use today, which is the apple cider vinegar. And on sesame seeds, most recipes that call for sesame seeds, you only use a few, so you've always got plenty left over. Make sure that you store them in an airtight container, and you can actually freeze these and they would last up to a year. Now when it comes to topping your cheesecakes with the whipping cream, never use a metal bowl, because the whipping cream can actually pick up a metallic taste. So always use a chilled glass bowl for your whipping cream, and it'll turn out to perfection. I hope that y'all don't have to do this but one time, but in case you do, I hope these recipes will come in handy. I think you'll just love Michael's pickled shrimp and the sesame chicken strips and the little key lime tarts made with the key lime cookies from Bird Cookie, and of course our jazzed up soda cracker. I hope that y'all will enjoy these recipes. And the best part about today's show is that all the friends I've made working here on the show surprised me with my very own wedding shower.